Okay, so today I'm going to talk about solving inequalities by multiplication and division, which is lesson 7. So in this lesson, you're going to learn to solve inequalities when multiplying or dividing by a positive number or a negative number. Okay, so let's take a look at the Venn diagram again. Let's compare, contrast, equation, and inequality. So first, let me write one example of equations and one example of an inequality. So let's say I have negative 2x equals 6 here, and negative 2x is greater than 6. So last time we talked about common characteristics that both equations and inequalities share, which are both of them have variables, right? Like x or m, and also both of them have numbers. An equation, when you solve this equation, let's solve this equation. So undo this operation by dividing by negative 2 on each side. So x gives you negative 3. So equation has, as you see, equal sign. Has equal sign and also has one solution. On the other hand, inequality has inequality symbols like a greater than, less than, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay, so if we solve this inequality, so we're gonna solve this by the way we just solve an equation, so divide by negative 2. But for inequality has special rule, which is when you either multiply or divide by negative number, like this one, when you divide by negative number, you have to reverse the sign. So here you have to reverse sign. So x now, x is less than negative 3. So since inequality, excuse me, has more than one answer, we call it solution set. You have to show the solution set on a number line. So we can start at negative 4. Right side of negative 3 is negative 2 here, and negative 4. Start at negative 3 and doesn't have equal sign, so it's open circle. X is less than negative 3. So less means left side of negative 3. And here negative 4 is obviously less than negative 3. All right. So here we're going to add here. Inequality has special rule, which is when you either multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to reverse the sign. So that's a special rule about multiplying or dividing inequality, okay? So let's test out which this is true. So let's see. So let's say, for example, we have 10 is greater than 6, right? But let's divide by negative number. So let's divide by the negative 2 on each side. Then this 10 divided by negative 2 gives you negative 5. And 6 divided by negative 3, 6 gives you negative 3. So as you see, negative 3 is greater than negative 5. So you have to here reverse the sign to make the statement true. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at what if we multiply by negative numbers, then what happens? So let's say we have 3 is greater than 2. The statement now we multiply by negative number. So let's multiply maybe -4 on each side. That gives you -12, gives you -8. So again, -8 is greater than -12. So you need to switch. You need to reverse the sign here to make statement true. Okay, so let's take a look at example problem 1. So we have equation and inequality. Everything is the same except the sign. So we solve for x. So we undo this operation by dividing by 8. So x is by itself and 5. So one solution for this equation. When and we solve inequality the way we just solve equation. So now x is less than or equal to 5. So since it has more than one solution, it's called solution set. You're going to show it on the number line. So it has equal sign. So we have to include the 5. Fill in this bubble. It's called a closed circle. X has to be less than 5. So 4 is less than 5. So you have to shade left side of 5. So that's all solution for this inequality. Okay. Okay, so let's go over this together. So solve for x. So undo this operation by dividing by 5 on each side. So x is 6 for this equation. And we just solve this inequality the way we just solve equations. So divide by 5 on each side. X is greater than 6. So any number that is greater than 6 are all solution. So here's 6, 7, there's 5. Does not have equal sign. That means 6 is not one of solution. And x has to be greater than, so 7 is greater than 6. So you shade right side of a 6. So now we are going to look at another example. So again, we solve for D. So we need to leave isolate D by itself by multiplying by 2, which is inverse operation of division. So that cancels out. So D gives you 14. So here we have an inequality. We solve the way we just solved equation. So that cancels out. D gives you greater than 14. So again, you can show the solution set on a number line. And does not have equal sign. So it's open circle. D is greater than 14. So 15 is greater than 14. So you need to shade the right side. So now we're going to take a look at another example here. So I'm going to compare equation to inequality. So let's solve for G. So -2 is multiplied. So you need to use inverse operation, which is division divided by -2. So that gives you G -5. So you're going to solve this inequality the way you solve the equation. So we're going to divide by -2. But remember, when you divide by or multiply by negative number, what happened to the sign? You switch, you have to reverse sign. So less than becomes greater than. So your answer is G is greater than -5, okay? So -5 here, -4, and -6. Do not have equal sign, that means open circle, does not include -5 for solution set, and G is greater than -5 means this side, because -4 is greater than -5, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at more example problem, EX4. So let me write equation here and inequality here. So we go ahead and solve equation first. Divide by -4 on each side. So X gives you one solution, which is -1. And we're gonna solve inequality the way we solve equation. But remember the rule. When you divide by negative number, what happened to the sign? You have to reverse it because we divide by negative number. So now X is greater than or equal to -1. We have to switch because we divide by negative number. That's a special sign for inequality, only when you either multiply or divide by a negative number, okay? So this is -1 here, 0, -2. So you have equal sign, so close circle. So you have to bubble in circle, and X is greater than -1. So 0 is greater than -1. So this side you have to shade. So let's take a look at more example problems. This time, we want to, let's multiply. This time we're gonna multiply by negative number. So again, I'm gonna write equation as well here to compare with an inequality, okay? So again, we leave X by itself by getting rid of -3. So we use inverse operation, which is multiplication. So you need to multiply by -3. You need to get rid of negative sign as well. So you need to multiply by -3, not just 3, okay? So that cancels out, leaving X by itself gives you -12. So we solve inequality just the way we solve equation as well here. So we remember, when you multiply by negative number or divide by negative number, what happened? You're gonna have reverse. You have to reverse the sign because again, we multiply by negative number, you have to reverse the sign. So here, now X is greater than or equal to -12 because you reverse it because you multiply by negative number. So we're going to show the solution set on a number line, -12, -11, -13. So we're going to bubble in closed circle because we have equal sign. So -12 is one of solution and X has to be greater than equal to. So -11 is greater than -12. So you have to shade right side of -12, okay? So let's take a look at this together. So we're gonna multiply by -4 in each side. And X gives you 20, right? So here we're gonna solve this inequality the same way you just solved equation. So multiply by -4. Remember the special rule. Either when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to reverse the sign, okay? So now here we have X is less than 20. And then you show the solution set on a number line. So there is no equal sign, so it's open circle. X is less than 20, so left side. Okay, so let's take a look at this word problem. So Lynn earns $8 per hour working at the zoo. It says write and solve an inequality that can be used to find how many hours she must work in a week to earn at least $120 and interpret the solution. So in this problem, you're asked to write and solve an inequality, okay? To find how many hours. I'm going to circle this key phrase of question. You are asked to find number of hours. So we have to choose variable. Any letter you can choose. Let's choose H. That stands for the number of hours. Since you have to write an inequality, let's start with the inequality symbol, but it shows here is keyword, at least. At least means greater than, equal to symbol. And then we have decided to write total, which is sum on the right side of equal sign or inequality symbol. So here we have total 120, and we have given this information, which is $8 per hour. So we can write AH, $8 per hour. And we solve for H. So we divide by A on each side. So H is greater than, so what is, okay, so go ahead, do the operation. What is 120 divided by 8? Gives you 15. So what does that mean? It means she must work at least, okay, so let's write incomplete sentence. She must work at least 15 hours, right? To earn $120.